A warm welcome back to the Forensics Detailing channel. Now, detailing giants Gyon, they've been lurking in the shadows. They've been working away, they've been doing stuff. In this video, we're going to be showing you some of their new releases and some new products that are hitting the detailing scene that are new and innovative, and I haven't seen them before. So stay tuned to this video to find out all about them. A warm welcome back to the channel, guys. As always, before we get started, do not forget to subscribe. So Gyon, a very cool brand. I remember they caught my attention back when I started the channel as being a modern brand who had all these ceramic coating products, a big range of consumer-based coatings with all different kind of durabilities, down to easy to use entry-level ones up to multi-layer kind of products and all of this kind of stuff, which was really attractive and kind of desirable to me. But they also had a very strong accredited scene, if you like. They were making inroads into the UK and Europe and America with their accredited installer network. And if you wanted to be a Gyon ceramic coating installer, you couldn't just apply, yeah, you're accepted, away you go. You had to be the real McCoy. You had to be serious. You had to have a really nice studio. You had to be in business for a while. So they were very selective, and I think they still are very selective. And that runs through with their product line as well. I find that their product range is superb. Their finger is on the pulse in terms of creating products and getting that balance right, where you offer solutions in all of the different areas in detailing, but you don't recycle or just keep issuing products for the sake of issuing products, because then your range can become vast and hard to understand. So Gyon have recently released a whole new load of products, and the reason I'm interested in these products as well is that I think some of them are really innovative. So let's get stuck in and start walking through what these products actually are. So product number one, Geon Total Remover. This is a sealant and coating remover. The first line of the product description: removes sealants, old coatings, factory waxes or high spots easily. Removes limescale and watermarks. So typically it will need some sort of acidic property to remove watermarks. So I'm assuming this is an acid-based detergent. Now, on my particular car, to test this product, about 2 weeks ago I applied a baseline glaze, the mirror glaze. On top of that I had a ceramic sealant bead coat. On top of that I've used a ceramic detailer spray when I washed the car, and I've also tested another spray on ceramic sealant on top of that. So I've got 4 layers of protection. You can see when I rinse the car down after washing it, that protection is still active and relatively fresh. Now, historically with these strip wash type products, I'm always talking about the instructions and looking for that wording that they're going to remove old sealants and old waxes, because if you've got a fresh product on there, typically these products just degrade it, and really what you want is for them to be able to remove it. Now this product has impressed me most out of all of these new Gyon products. How do you go about using it? Well, you wash off the car first. Don't use this product. There's tons of road film and dirt all over the car, okay? It's there to attack the protection. It's not there to remove, you know, dirt and grime. You do that by your normal wash process, pre-wash, wash, get the car clean. At this point, the car's going to probably have some standing water on it from that wash process and rinse. That's absolutely fine, but just be conscious that if you've got tons of standing water, you are going to be mixing the product down a little bit. So, but a bit of water is absolutely fine. You then spray this onto the panel, and you can work it over that panel with something like the Gyon wash mitt. You can spray a bit of this total remover into your wet wash mitt and just work that film over the panel. Now it says leave the product for 1 to 3 minutes and do not let it dry. That's really important, especially with stronger chemicals. You don't want them to be baking out on the panel and stuff like that. You want them to be wet, and while this is wet and active on that panel and you can see that white kind of sudsy film, you know everything's okay. I left it for 2 minutes, which is kind of in between halfway house, and I worked in my garage, so I'm out of the sort of sunlight. So like I've said, the alarm bells on a really hot day where your panels are warm to the touch, and if you put detergent on that warm panel it will dry, that should be your red flag. So make sure you're using it on cool panels. What I was expecting from this product is for it to be able to degrade those sealants and not remove them. And then I'd be in the situation where the product claims about removing sealants haven't proved to be true, which is typically the case of strip wash. They can get rid of the remnants of what's on there, but they can never get rid of fresh protection historically. Now, after 2 minutes of this being on the panel, when I rinsed it off, all of the protection is gone, and it's hydrophobic, beady protection that has a rapid kind of repellency to it. But the panel is now completely flat, and it looks like it's stripped off all of the protection. And that is really, really impressive, and it's perhaps the most impressive performer out of all of the products that I've tested in this new line, because, like I say, historically, strip washes degrade, but they can't remove. So, if you're looking for a really aggressive product, and you are a professional detailer as well, that if you're going to be doing paint correction, you want to get everything off of the paint before polishing. Because if you're polishing sort of fresh waxes, sealants and coatings, you've got to go through that before you actually start correcting the clear coat. And it can interfere with the polishing process. There are a number of other scenarios as well where you just want to change your protection. You don't like the idea of putting a wax or a sealant over whatever may be still left on the panel. You want to reset your paintwork without going through and using a finishing polish to guarantee that it's gone. So there is a demand for this product, and I think it's really cool that Gyon have released it. Its performance on these sealants that I've got on my car has made me want to test this further. So in future, I'll probably lay out on one of my test panels a fresh ceramic coating, a fresh durable paste wax, a fresh durable sealant, some polishing oils, and we'll just go over with this product and see what it can do. There has to be a limitation to what it can remove. It does in the wording say old coatings. So my expectation is if I put a fresh coating on and let it cure, it's going to really smack it down and degrade it, but it won't remove a fresh, durable coating that's designed to last 3 to 5 years. But who knows? We will test that out further and see. But initial impressions of this are very, very good. I also prefer the fact that you use it while the car's still after that wash phase, so that once you've used it, you can kind of rinse it all off to get the remnants off, rather than sort of dry buffing on a detergent. So it's used after the wash phase, which I think is the right time. So Geon Total Remover could be a game changer for lots of people. And like we've said, the game changer is the fact that I think it can actually live up to its claims of stripping strong sealants. And that's going to be really useful going forward. So that's product number 1. So product number 2, Gyon Q2M Glass Polish, Glass Cleanse. So removes line scale and light defects easily. Surface preparation for glass coatings. That's primarily how I want to use them. Now, Gyon are a specialist in glass coatings. They've got these long, durable, ceramic type glass coatings. I don't know if it's a true ceramic or if it's more of a durable sealant, because ceramic, when you're putting anything on glass, you look through it, don't you? Especially your front windscreen. So ceramic coatings, the film that it can leave behind can be too thick and visible for ceramic coatings to be the best choice of glass sealant. So typically a glass coating is usually more of a sealant, and if it does have ceramic silane in it or whatever core resin, it may be at a lower concentration, because it has to, visibility is, you know, quality of visibility is very, very important. But Gyon also have like a consumer-based or consumer-style glass coating in an easy-to-apply applicator where you get loads of products and it can sit on your shelf for years and you can reseal your glass. So they've got both options. Now, what you want to avoid doing is just washing your car, getting a glass coating and putting it on top of what's already there, because you're building up films of product, and it's more likely you're going to be able to see that when you're looking through the window when there's good light coming through and you've got your wiper blades on. You tend to see everything. So visibility is very important. How do you go about using this glass polish, guys? Well, you can use it by machine or by hand. I used a fine wall pad and just did an up and down pass and a crosshatch, you know, horizontal pass, if you like, on a dual action polisher, and that was enough to completely strip off the protection that was on my Golf. Now on my Golf, you could see around the area where the wiper blades don't wipe, I still had a strong kind of hydrophobic thing going on, but the centre of the glass where the wiper blade keeps going backwards and forwards was completely hydrophilic. Once you've used this glass polish, you've wiped it off, your whole windscreen should be hydrophilic. If you get any burst of kind of, or you know, you see the water separating in like a patch of hydrophobicity, you've missed a bit, so you can just go over that bit again till you have the whole windscreen completely hydrophilic. Okay, so we know how to apply it. Once you applied it, you can wipe it off, and a damp microfiber can help as well. You get the majority of the product off. But if you use this product after the wash process and the car's still wet, I always like the fact that these glass polishes are water soluble, so you can actually rinse it off as well, and it just melts down with the water, and you can get all of that glass polish off of the car while you've still got all your washing equipment out and your pressure washer. So that's a good time to utilise these and do that glass sealant. Normally you think of maintaining glass is the last thing you do, but that little bit of prep work, if you're prepping for a sealant, is good to do during the wash process as well. So really, really cool, really, really easy to use. Use it on a low speed. What about if you're trying to correct swirls on glass? Well, you'd probably want to use a rayon pad, work with slightly higher speeds, and spend more time actually working the abrasive over the glass surface till you see that fine kind of swirling that you get from the wiper blades going backwards and forwards and scratching the glass over time. You'd work slowly till you see an improvement on that. That's quite a specialised area of detail in glass polishing. It's not something I generally attempt. I'd be using this primarily to remove all of the remnants of old sealants before I go ahead and apply it. So 2 sets with this, with the machine polisher, low speed, and you should reset your paint. Get it all off. They do advise after you've wiped it all off to go over the glass with Geon Prep, which is like a panel wipe, and that will get rid of any remaining lubricants in this system off of the glass. And again, those lubricants, if they're still there, may affect the ability for your sealant to kind of bond to the glass and affect your durability. So an important product for Geon. If you're the specialists in the solutions for glass sealants, then I think you need a really good glass polish in your range. The bottle's great as well. It's like a, you know, your typical polish bottle, but it's in 250ml, which is about the right size as well. So that is Q2M glass polish. Next up, a very interesting product, guys. You know I use the word interesting a lot. Degreaser tabs, but this is really interesting. It's really different. Efficient degreasing solution. So in this packet, you get 20 degreaser tablets in these little sachets. You get 2 tablets per sachet. Now this product is there after you've polished a car. You leave behind polishing oils. Indeed, I'll show you on my Golf. I've polished with an oily finishing polish 1/2 of the bonnet, and you can see it creates a hydrophobic effect on the panel because you are really burying all of those polishing oils into the surface of the clear coat. Okay, so you can see the hydrophobic effect. Now, historically, I think lots of detailers will just go over a polished car with a panel wipe and then apply a wax, which is probably fine. But if you're using a bonding sealant or especially a ceramic coating, the perceived wisdom is that you need to degrease the car properly to get rid of all those hydrophobic polishing oils so that your coating is bonding to the surface. So you're getting your pure coating, your clear coat, and the two mate together, and that's how you should achieve the maximum protection. It's interesting, isn't it? Because we've kind of explored this on the channel. Leaving the polishing oils there doesn't fully disrupt the coating. In fact, I think the coating probably mixes with those polishing oils and still sets. So you still see the coating kind of performing, but it's always made sense to me that degreasing is the way to get, you know, the proper prep. So that's why these products exist. Now, about 7 or 8 years ago, I remember when I first sort of saw the Geon products and we did the Geon brand review a long time ago. I picked up on the fact that the Geon coatings have a step in there after you've polished to degrease it with a hot degreasing liquid like dish soap and hot water. And I always thought that Geon missed an opportunity to sell you a specific product to do that function rather than recommend a sort of general purpose surfactant, which will probably work to a certain extent. But I would imagine that these are more powerful than your normal dish soap, which is something I don't like to generally use on my cars. I'd rather buy a detailing product to degrease than something that's really designed to clean my cutlery and cups and plates and all that sort of stuff. So I like this. But I think this concept can be extended to just beyond degreasing tablets, and I can see the potential there, and I've talked about this before on the channel. Why not do this with normal shampoos, where you've got your normal pH neutral Gyon tablet shampoo? Then you could have a ceramic booster tablet that if you want to apply protection at the same time, you throw in one of those with your base shampoo tablet. If you want to have a degreaser one, you could throw in your degreaser tablet. If you want to have the strip wash total remover in a tablet, you could use that. And instead of having all these detailing chemicals that are mixed down with water and more heavy to transport, you could just have all of these tablets, and then you wouldn't have to send the water all around the world, you know, when you're sending products. This, if it was a liquid product, would probably be at least 5 or 10 litres of solution, but the packet weighs absolutely nothing, and we all have the water at our home. So the potential and power of this concept is absolutely huge, and that's why it's of interest to me. And it's interesting that it's also come through as a degreaser solution first. Now, I've used the product, guys. What Geon recommend is that it's hot water, which will help dissolve these tablets quicker. And you could use a detailing bucket and like fill that bucket up with water, or dissolve the solution in some hot water and mix it into your bucket, and then fill it up with tap water if you like. But I think as you've already washed the car and you've just polished the car, you don't need like 15 litres of cleaning solution. So a smaller bucket that you know, holds 5 litres will do you absolutely fine, because you're just really using it to get off the polishing oils. My detailing buckets also get sort of full of ground in dirt as well. And at this stage, after polishing it, I just think one of those cheap little square containers that's very clean, kept clean, is an ideal way of using this particular product. So I used 1 tablet to around 5 litres of hot water. I used it with the Geon wash mitt, and on the Golf bonnet, like I said earlier, half of it's been polished with a very oily kind of finishing polish that's been buffed, and I left a little quarter on the corner where I didn't buff it. It's just got a full thick layer of polishing oil, because I thought that would test the product more. It removed all of the polishing oils, and I went from a slightly hydrophobic polished side to a completely flat side. So these degreaser tablets work. They obviously contain a powerful surfactant that's designed to emulsify kind of the oil and carriers of the product. It's not a particularly foamy product. It doesn't really need to be foamy. I'm sure if you get your jet wash in there and blast it up, you can get loads of foam, but you're not reliant on clean, you're not reliant on dwell time, you're just reliant on getting a layer of this surfactant once it's dissolved over that polishing oil. Just allow it a little bit of dwell time to break down all the polishing oils, rinse it off and dry the car. I'd also recommend, because you've just polished the car, you use a very clean wash mitt. Don't go back over it with a wash mitt which you use to wash the car, because that will have dirt in it, and you've just polished the car. So I don't know about you guys, but I've probably got about 5 or 6 wash mitts, and some of them I keep very clean, some of them I use all the time. They're a bit more worn out. I'd use one of my good ones for the degreasing step. Very cool product, very cool concept, and this could be the start of something very, very big that has applications just beyond degreasing tablets. So I think watch this space and see what happens within the detailing industry. But if that's going to be the next big breakthrough that we see, it would be tablets. They've taken over it domestically, haven't they, with our dishwashers and our washing machines. We tend to use tablets because it's all dosed out and convenient, and we're not carrying around all that water. So yeah, lots of potential. Very cool product, Geon Degreaser tabs. Next up, guys, masking tape. Now, I don't know if these particular products are new. They may have been around for a while, guys, but I haven't seen them, and I wanted to talk about them in this video. Now, we know Geon are specialists in polishing. We talked earlier on about their accredited network, so they have detailers up and down the country doing high-end kind of professional work that involves cleaning, decontaminating, polishing and protecting cars, you know, with ceramic coatings and all this high-end kind of detailing work. If you're selling all those compounds and polishes and pads and all the tools to do that, it makes sense to have an offering for everything detailers are going to need. And detailers need masking tape. Why do you need masking tape? Can you polish without it? Yes, you can if you're doing a quick buff of your car. But if you're doing a high-end paint correction, you're really trying to hit every painted panel on every bit of the car, and polishing machines are quite powerful. They have plates spinning around, so you can use masking tape to protect things that you might butt up against with the plates and pads of your machine. So that's one reason to mask things off. But another reason, when you're cutting paintwork and you're using a bit more of the abrasive kind of paste on your pad, that can get stuck in the little gaps between like the panels and the rubber seals and like the door handles and all that sort of stuff. You don't want to be polishing up to a rubber seal where there's a risk of the dual action polisher going over and onto the rubber. The rubber is dirty. Even if you clean it, you'll get dirt coming off onto the pad and little black marks in your polishing pad, which is a big no-no. So you'll see professional detailers that are serious about what they're doing mask up all of that stuff before they go in and polish. Now, there's not just one masking tape, there's 3 different widths. You have a 30mm, this is testing my memory, an 18mm, don't look behind, and a 6mm. Most of your work, if you're not sure which masking tape to get, then the 18mm will probably be the best all-round option. But the thicker tape is useful when you've got bigger sort of bits of trim and stuff like that you want to mask over, so you can cover more ground obviously with a thicker tape. Sometimes though you get really intricate things that you want to tape off, and trying to use a wider bit of tape can be a bit messy, and you get the sticky bit still facing up because you've sort of folded the tape round on itself. So you do see a few detailers that are really serious about what they're doing have the very thin tape to mask stuff off, and that can come in really, really handy. I just did an example of it covering a wiper jet nozzle, but sometimes you get very thin bits of trim. I'm thinking as well, you know, you get the roof rails on cars. Well, those bits of plastic trim where the roof rail, you remove them, put the roof rails in or whatever, they can have rubber seals down them that are about this thickness, and they're quite hard to mask off with thicker tape, so it can come in useful for stuff like that. What do I feel about using this, guys? Well, the one thing I notice about the Geon tape is it's smoother on the top surface, so it feels less, you know, if you run your hand over kind of like a piece of cardboard, it's got a slight fibrous quality to it, and some of the masking tapes I've used in the past have that quality, whereas this feels nice and smooth. So if you're polishing over it, hopefully you won't be removing any fibres or anything like that from the tape, which is an improvement. Other than that, of course, this tape is low tack. You do not want like a serious glue, so you put the tape down on the car and then like it dries and you pull it, you have to pull on it aggressively. You definitely don't want a masking tape that does that with cars, because obviously pulling on paintwork is not good, especially refinished paintwork and edges where it may have been refinished and the clear coat's a bit thin and all that sort of stuff. So you want low tack tape. So Geon have given you the tool for the job, and it's pretty cool tape, this stuff, guys. So something to consider if you're looking to do really good, a good standard of work when you're machine polishing. Next up, Geon Tow Wash. Now, if you don't know anything about Geon's range beyond what I've just showed you in this video, they have a very comprehensive and high quality set of Korean made microfiber towels for every different function. They have like their bald wipes, which are sort of like low nap towels for coating removal. They have the open pile, super soft, kind of fluffy buffing cloths for like final wipe downs or maximum kind of softness on the paint. And they have like a mid-range, you know, standard microfiber edgeless cloth, if you like, for multifunction. They have, those cloths are all dark blue colour. Then they have their interior cloths, which are all white, so you can see when you've picked up dirt on them and stuff like that, and you know, dirt cleaning type towels. But they also have very good quality white microfiber kind of wash mitts, drying towels, little finger applicators, and you know, microfiber pads. All of their microfiber stuff is top drawer quality. These microfiber products are tools that you need to do the detailing jobs. There's 2 types of people on this planet. type of person that puts their microfiber towels on the floor after they've used them and trashes their microfiber. And then there's people that look after their microfiber and keep it going for years and years. So if you're in that latter category, this product's going to be probably more of interest to you. Now, something that's very important when you're washing microfiber towels. Nowadays, I'm a little bit more lazy than I was when I first got into my detailing. Maybe my standards have slipped. I tend to separate microfiber into two categories. The stuff that gets full of dirt and the stuff that are tools to remove products and shouldn't have any dirt in them. What are those tools, John? Drying towels. They shouldn't really be getting dirty because you're using them after you've washed the car, just to get water off the car. So really, your drying towel should just be wet after you've used it, but it does pick up small amounts of dirt, doesn't it? Because you miss things, you know, so they do get dirty, and I do wash them after I use them. And with the drying towels, also obviously the obvious choice is cloths that you'll use to remove polish or you buff waxes with. They shouldn't get dirty, they just pick up product. That's what they're there for. You keep them really clean, okay? The second type is all the destructive cleaning duties, you know, scrubbing out the stuff with microfibers, the interior detailing, engine bay degreasing, you're wiping stuff. Some microfiber can get hammered and destroyed, but you don't want to throw it away really. You want to clean it properly. So the two different categories, I try not to mix those together in the wash, or I just feel that the dirt is coming out of all of the wash mitts and dirty cloths and stuff and going into my nice ones that I'm keeping in really good condition for the paintwork. So there's a little tip for you. You simply place 25 to 50 ml of this product, so you don't lose a lot. You can put it into the pre-wash section of your washing machine like Geon advised, but I tend to put it straight in. I'm a naughty boy. I mix it and put it straight in with the wash sometimes. I'm sure you can do that as well. Now, why is it important to wash your towels properly? What's the worst that you could do if, with that high quality stuff like your drying towels and your expensive buffing cloths that you want to maintain, all that sort of stuff, you do not want to use high heat all the time, so you don't go beyond 60. You shouldn't need to go up to 60. Generally 30 to 40 is warm enough, and with that the surfactant, you're going to remove the kind of polishing oils from your tools, if you like. You do not want to be using biological detergents because they're really strong, really aggressive. They're there to kind of take out stains and use on heavily soiled kind of fabrics, but they're going to degrade them. So these surfactants are made to be mild. They're made to extend the life of your good quality microfiber. And finally, guys, I just want to say, we've only touched on the tip of the iceberg here. There's a load of other new stuff that Geon have released, like leather maintenance kits for new leather and older leather, how you can clean that with the appropriate chemical, protect it. There's also more stuff coming very soon that I'm going to show you on the channel. And there's stuff that really I haven't delved into much. You've probably seen these in the background. Well, again, if you've got professional detailers out detailing your cars, and then these floor mats, it's a load of paper floor mats, guys, but different to the other mats that I've seen that go in the cars. The paper quality on these, it's like print quality paper. It's all like silky and shiny. Normally the paper floor mats that you put in are all like cheap kind of fibrous paper because, yeah, they're going to get destroyed. You're going to put your feet on them, and it's paper. So lots of companies will be like, we want to get these as cheap as possible. So just tells you all you need to know about Geon, that they're using high quality print paper for that. So everything is like at the high end rather than at the low end. But if you go and look at all of the prices of the Geon products, out of any brand out there, it would be justified for them to be like twice the cost of everything else. But they're not. It's all roughly the same price as all of the other brands out there. And if you go back and look at my best of videos in the playlist on the homepage, Geon products are in there, and they may or may not win every single test. But if you look at the price comparison, they're never the most expensive. They're usually somewhere in the middle. So I think you get high quality for good value for money. And in terms of putting your faith in a brand, it's a really good sign for me that when a brand do everything to the top quality, because you gain confidence that when you're buying stuff, it's not kind of cheap and nasty. That's one of the reasons I was really drawn to Geon as an overall brand. Everything is good quality. Finally, guys, I want to say a huge thank you for Gyon for sponsoring this video. As I've said many times, they are one of my favourite brands, and you'll get the idea why if you follow detailing. They stand out from the crowd. Their range is really comprehensive and has solutions now in all of those niche fields that we've talked about. And they're really, some of the stuff is really innovative as well, which is really important for me as a channel to cover. So thanks for watching. Huge thanks to Gyon, and stay tuned for more content on the Forensics Detailing channel. Bye for now.
Holding on to what I knew, but the moment's gone. Where was I?